So rehearsals already changed a lot this season, and then the live shows came, and I think they genuinely transformed the race because some countries felt huge in the arena, some exploded in the audience polls. So some countries that looked good on camera became genuinely dangerous live. So these are the countries that have gained the most momentum in the live shows. So like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for that video and many more to come. I'll be continuing videos after the contest. So yeah, hit that button. And we can definitely argue about the placements of this. This is very subjective, but feel free to argue with me in the comments. Let me know what you think. And first out for fifth place that has gained the most momentum, I think it's Moldova, because this kind of exploded after the first dress rehearsals, shocked everyone, gained twice as much in the audience poll as the second, completely knocking it out of the park with countries like Greece, Israel, Finland, and no one saw this coming. So this was a huge reaction from the audience in the live shows because they just connected with it in the party atmosphere, and that definitely transmitted on the camera as well. It kind of has everything. It has a strong performer, really fun staging with joyful visuals, and the moment with Aliona in this huge dress. But the song is just such a banger. It's not my cup of tea, but it's definitely grown on me. This is Moldova doing what Moldova does best. Super entertaining, high energy, in your face, chaotic. And this suddenly feels like a televote threat. Some people talk about it as a televote winner. I don't think many people were talking about this before the live show. So this has definitely gained a huge momentum. And then the next one, which might be a controversial pick because it's Finland. This was already a favorite, already had that kind of front runner status. But I think the live shows have definitely proved why it is. Even though it's not perfect and there wasn't a huge elevation, I think this showed how much this emotionally connects with the audience. And one data point, even though it stayed first and first, with the odds, with the fans, like the odds, it's just pulled away. It hovered around 30. Now it's up to 45. So this has just consolidated its momentum. Why? I mean, we have the live violin. That definitely works. Such a pivotal move from Linda. Fan support still huge. Last night jury show, Peta nailed the vocals. It was one of the best performances of the big note. So this definitely has gained some momentum. Not the least to mention the potentially iffy placement on the golden spot, the 17th. People are talking of this as being quite favorized by the producers. But at the same time, they could have put Finland in 24th, 23rd, 22nd spot, and they didn't. So, and then people would have argued that it was super favored. But yeah, I really do see that point. So I'm not going to go against that. But this doesn't just feel like a big, dramatic, super polished entry. It also feels real and connects with people. And I think that's why it's consolidated its position. And then next up, another one that's a dark horse for even the win, probably more likely top 5 placement, but I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Third biggest momentum gained. Some people might be unhappy that this is not in first place, but I think this momentum has been building over such a long period of time. It's Romania. Like when this was selected, this was down around 20th place in the odds. And now it's up in 5th, and it's been steadily climbing over such a long period of time. And I definitely saw this one coming. I loved it from the get-go, and it all just hinged a bit on elevating the staging, which they've completely done. This now feels like alien horror-esque movie vibes with a complete story and great storytelling around the meaning of the song. And Alexandra's just nailing the performance, the vocals, the band. It feels cohesive. Yeah, this is a strong contender. I personally don't think it's gonna win, but it might win the televote, and just ending up in top 5. Like, That would be amazing. And if it actually happened to win, I would love that because that would be such a standout return for Romania. Yeah, because this feels like raw and dangerous. The tension is real and the emotional impact is just so powerful. It definitely deserves to be in the winning conversation, especially as a dark horse. So let's see what happens. And then, second biggest momentum of the live shows, for me, that's actually Australia. Like, people expected this to be polished, perfect, have a stellar performance, but I don't think people were ready for how massive this would feel. Like, the visuals are just like all in. And Delta's performance, like, people spoke about it, but seeing it live is a completely different thing. She delivers. It feels polished, but also real and authentic. It's not just cinematically Disney-esque beautiful. It also has a lot stronger emotional impact than people expected. So yeah, this not only has huge jury appeal, I think this also lands with a certain segment of the audience. And I think there's a potential for this to land in the top 4 of the televote. And with the risk of another jury winner, I would love a televote winner this year, to be honest, after the last few years. But I definitely see there's a strong path for this because Australia has just gained such a massive momentum since Thursday, which is so well deserved because Delta definitely delivers. And before I go into my first one, there's just one big honorable mention that kind of had its huge momentum during rehearsals, and that's why it didn't make it to this list. But Greece also had a huge surge in momentum that then kind of dialed down. It did shoot up in the odds and became a huge contender to Greece and became a huge contender to Finland, which I think it is. So it could definitely win the televote, do well with the juries. It should be in the top conversation, but it just didn't have that huge momentum this week. So it's an honorable mention. And then my number 1 biggest momentum of the live shows, it's actually Bulgaria. Yeah, this has shot up in the odds. I was going to say no one saw this coming, but I had this as doing a potential Eleni Ferreira. Once the rehearsal starts, people would be blown away by the staging and it would shoot up. It hasn't shot up to the 2nd place, but it's climbed like 10 placements or 8 at least. The vocals is there, the storytelling is there, the choreography is definitely there. The staging just makes this song pop. And I didn't know they'd done a revamp. I feel like the song just works much better now and has a broader appeal. I love the original version, don't get me wrong, but I think that was more risky than the revamp. And not forget, she not only won the audience poll after the 2nd semifinal, she also won the press media poll. So that's like a double win. Could this potentially surprise with the juries? It's definitely got dark horse energy with the televote, but who knows? Maybe the juries will reward this as well because the package is just so appealing and it has massive momentum. So I don't think the juries will mark down that too much, which goes for both Bulgaria and Romania, despite not necessarily being typical jury songs. I wish that this was in the winner conversation. I don't necessarily think it will be. Still, Dara has emerged as the star from the live shows week, and I think definitely has the biggest momentum compared to before the live shows going into the final. How far can this go? Like, it would be amazing with the top 5, but if we see all the 3 returning countries in the top 10, I'd be super happy with that. So these countries that kind of looked like outsiders a week ago suddenly feels like real threat. But how well will these countries do? Well, we'll see. Honestly, I think the live shows completely reshaped the conversation around top 10, top 5. But who do you think gained the most momentum? Let me know down in the comments. I'll be doing another video of the ones who lost the most momentum and have a think about what went wrong. So like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Bye.